Oh, we're right now in the plaza in Cholula, in the arcade. This place is incredible. It's a good place to hang out, do nothing, and drink beer and coffee.
This is the best coffee in Cholula. We've been around everywhere, and I think, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think it's the most delicious. And after living in Italy for a year, I got addicted to cappuccino and cortados, and that's what I have to have every morning now. So this is the best one. It doesn't taste like dishwater like what the Americans and Mexicans drink typically.
Coffee from a sock is the way the French brew it. They take a small piece of cloth, sew it up the sides, and put coffee in it, pour a little water over it, and it makes superb coffee. The Plaza of Cholula is one of actually the largest in all Mexico. In pre-Columbian times, it extended from where the market is today all the way to where the church of San Miguel Tianguis Nahuac is today. And it was one of the largest markets in all Mexico. It was a trading center for not only the Sierra Norte de Puebla, but the Mixteca, the coast of Oaxaca, the northwest coast, etc. So trade came in from all areas here. And Cholula was one of the central trading towns of pre-Columbian Mexico.
¿Cuántas iglesias hay en Cholula?
Okay, that's a myth for tourists. There's one for every day of the year. That myth started with Hernan Cortez when he wrote his second letter to the King of Spain. He claimed that there was an adoratorio for every day of the year. He was a little bit off. There are 126 active churches in the metropolitan Cholula area. That includes San Andres, San Pedro, Tonancintla, Acatlan, all of these. But there aren't 360 churches in Cholula. ¿Cómo van?
Quedaron tamales. ¿Sí hay?
Tengo tamal de jarocho, de dulce, de salsa verde y de rajas.
¿Cuál es jarocho?
Jarocho está en hoja de plátano. Es toda una comida.
Ah,
Para mí, uno de rajas.
¿cómo está, Pedro? ¿Está rico? We're in the famous and huge marketplace of Cholula, having delicious tamales, and this one is a Veracruz style, wrapped in banana leaf, and it has hoja santa in it, which in Veracruz they call acuyo, but it gives it a particular flavor, delicious, slightly like anise, a delicious flavor, and the banana leaf gives it a flavor too, as that tamal is wrapped in the typical in corn husk, and it's also delicious. That's rajas, the peppers, red and green peppers, the big one, chile poblano. Very good. Everything's delicious.
Yep.
We love it.
There's a huge, long history of tamales in Mexico. Tamales were made well before tortillas even came around. But they were made with no fat in them. The fat is what makes it possible to beat air into them and makes them lighter and tastier than that. So they're actually, the tamales that you're seeing here are actually a post-Columbian invention, combining both the manteca from the pigs, which didn't exist here, and the nixtamal.
Oh, the chapulines are grasshoppers that are actually bread. They're put into a gourd, and once they finish the gourd, they shake the gourd onto a frying pan and they're sauteed. That's when they turn red. They're delicious.
impresión esa que ves con amarillo es que fui a Huejotzingo a la fiesta y es la inspiración para esa obra. Es la fiesta de Huejotzingo con los escopetas. Y aquella es de... Yo estaba trabajando en San Miguel, Sinacapan. Estaba aprendiendo cómo viajar en sueños con un chamán. Y este era un sueño prestado de su hermano, que vio una lumbre salir con Tlaloc. Este es sueño prestado.
Ah, es la portada de su libro.
Oh, es fantástico libro.
Esas son las máscaras que yo uso en carnaval. Estos dos son de Guerrero y la de nariz son también de Morelos.
Entonces, tú, Tim, también eres un huehue.
Oh, sí. Desde 98 estoy bailando.
25 años.
Sí. Okay, I dance in carnival and everyone dresses in costumes that imitate the invasion of Mexico. I was dancing for years as a Turk because Napoleon sent Turkish troops along. I was dancing as a zapatero, as a suavo, and various other things. You carry a big gun like that and get in a costume. Let me show you the costumes.
This is my book called Moctezuma's Table. It says there, Rolando Briseño's Mexican and Chicano tablescapes, which I invented this word, tablescape. I did 50 pieces of the cultural history of Mexican food, starting with the ingredients and recipes. Also going to the inframundo, which is food that has to do with mythology and rituals, and also the diaspora, how the products from Mexico change what everybody eats in the whole world. Most of the products of what people eat, almost everything comes from Mexico, or over half come from Mexico. So many things. So the food all over the world changed because of the discovery of the Americas and all the incredible food that's here. Chilies, there's the Alamo made out of masa, so it's Mas Alamo. These are making fun of the fast food of the United States, so they're pre-Columbian pieces, but I painted like Jack is inside the pot and different kinds of things. It's like I sold most of these buildings made out of tortillas to show that the brick and mortar of the culture of Texas is from Mexico. And there's many writers from Mexico and the United States. Tim Knab wrote here also. Different people. It's historians, anthropologists. This one about tortillas. It's a poem about tortillas in Nahuatl. So I have it's a table. I found this dish towel with some European symbols of wheat, but I superimposed. I got corn and rolled it in paint and rolled it over the whole thing and put the poem in Aztec. And this is the glyph for tortillas, which is the glyph of Tlaxcala. The word for tortilla is Tlaxcali. Tortilla is the Spanish word. Different recipes from Sahagún up to the modern ones. Michote is a pre-Columbian dish. It's wrapped in the maguey skin, yes, the epidermis, the maguey. And it's been outlawed because they're killing all the magueys, but it gives a particular flavor. It's an adobo, and usually it's traditionally with, now it's with lamb, used to be with other meats before. But it's a delicious dish, really good. Hard to find. Yeah, very good. And this is aguacatl, that's the Nahua word for avocados and also for testicles. So that's why this is like that.
I don't know.
A poem about tomatoes here. See, you see, and the Texas A&M University Press has it. You can find it online too. Amazon has it also. So.
Pulque is the fermented juice of the maguey agave. It's the drink of the gods in Mexico, and you should never have more than 5. Quetzalcoatl had more than 5 and lost his kingdom and came running to Cholula.
Remember, it was the historical Quetzalcoatl, not the god. My first video was what I did on horseback. This was in the 70s. I went from El Paso to Santa Fe, about 300 miles. And then I had to practice 2 months. I had an excellent mare, a quarter horse, very well trained. And then after 2 months training, the horse has to be in shape, you have to be in shape. I could ride all day. And so it took us 19 days to get to Santa Fe. And then a friend, Bart Friedman, was videotaping every so often when I met him. And my only guide in the traveling, right, one time I was in a valley called El Viaje de la Muerte. And I had to hit a well 5 miles away. And just with a compass, I hit it right on. Oh, I did this trip. It was commemorating the whole trail. It was Spanish and then Mexican. And then modern, from El Paso to Santa Fe was 300 miles. Mostly it was, you went through very wild areas. But with a horse you can go anywhere. It entered my brain like a free thought. You know, like a creativity. You don't know where the things come from. They just come. Well, this is called a flag because of the colors.
Yes, the colors of the Mexican flag.
I think it's a great use of a flag.
Red, white, and green. We're at the Cerveceria Cholula, one of 6 breweries here in Cholula. They produce 6 different varieties of beer here. And the quality of the beer is absolutely excellent here. And it's very popular with the students because Cholula is becoming a college town. And beer is definitely a part of a college town.
Ordenamos la Cholulteca, ¿verdad? Sí. Cholulteca. American India Pale Ale, 7.1% alcohol. Hicimos esta India Pale Ale o IPA con mucho lúpulo, que es hops, para ofrecerse una experiencia intensa en amargor y aroma, pero balanceada de principios a fin. A ver qué tal.
Nuestras salsas, la verde es salsa taquera, es con chile serrano, la amarilla es salsa habanero, es la que más pica, y la otra es salsa martajada, es con cebolla, chile serrano y cilantro. Nuestros totopos son de chipotle, de nopal y de habanero.
Muy bien, gracias.
Sí,
Bueno, salud.
Salud.
Salud. Gracias. Okay, we went up to Calpan yesterday for chiles en nogada. Chiles en nogada are a unique dish made in this part of Puebla because it's only at the end of the season from late August to mid-October that all the different fruits are ripe around here. And the poblano chilies turn deep, bright red. And what a family will do to make them is the men in the family will go out to all the different villages that grow the best fruits, local apples, peaches, pears, etc. Bring all these back. Then they'll go out to Texmelucan where they buy the nice bright red chiles poblanos. And then all the women get together and start the process of making the chiles en nogada. They fry all the fruits with the meats that go with them and produce the stuffing. Then they will skin and clean the chilies, stuff them with this stuffing, and put an egg batter around them, fry them, and then the final thing that makes them chiles en nogada is this nogada sauce. It's made from pounded, peeled walnuts. And it's pounded until it becomes a creamy-like sauce. And on top of that is usually a little bit of pomegranate seeds that are bright red and fresh parsley, which is bright green. So it has the Mexican national colors, red, white, and green. Probably its origin was from the 18th century. People here in Puebla claim they invented it. People claim the nuns first made it in Puebla, but it probably has been made for a lot longer than that in places like Calpan.
Because when Maximilian and Carlotta were here, they already had the chile en nogada, and that was 1860s. I was told it was from the time of Iturbide that when the official documentation of the freedom of independence of Mexico, Spain sent the letter or official paperwork. So when they received it in Puebla, the nuns made this dish as a celebration of the independence of Mexico from Spain. But
I think that's myth.
That's the myth.
Sí. Qué maravilla.
Verdolaga is, in English, is purslane, which grows everywhere in Texas, but nobody eats it.
Yep.
But here they eat it.
Yep.
It's bitter, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
No? Americans like to eat, if they eat fish, this has to be in the shape of a circle or a square. Americans don't know anything about food. They don't. It's just, look what they invented, fast food. That's what they gave to the world, and they're making the world sick. Eating that processed food is just not good. Too much sugar, too much fat, too much salt. It's just unhealthy.
met a pair of huicholes in one of the communal taxi cabs going up to Contadero. And they gave me a little beaded bracelet, a ring, and things, and I was very much interested in them. They were interesting people. I was signing the papers and getting everything arranged for renting the house. And all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock on the door. And the two huicholes had lost the place they were going to stay and asked if they could stay with me. There was a huge loft there, and so I said, sure. They saw where I got off and where I went. No, they went up the hill further, and it was a good hour or two before they came down. And within 6 weeks, I had 18 huicholes sharing the house with me, and I had to learn huichol. And Carl Haidt, a linguist at the Department of Anthropology at the UDLA, told me, came up to help me every weekend, and finally he said, you know, you should take a course in anthropology. And I did, so here I am.
So why did you move to Mexico City?
To get away from the United States. I had been beat to shit in Chicago.
Oh, that was 67.
Yeah. And I didn't want anything more to do with the U.S. Allen Ginsberg and Lawrence Ferlinghetti were both people who recommended Mexico City College, which it was at that time. You know, William Burroughs went to school here.
Oh, see, I have a friend that was eating peyote, right? He went with choles to eat peyote. And then he said, they knew how to do it, clean it so you won't get so sick. And then he ate it and said, nothing's happening. I mean, it's a rip. It's completely false. And then he was having, oh, this is horrible, until he found out that he was talking to an ant and the ant was answering.
Well, there is some evidence for huicholes using ground peyote anally. A lot of Mayanists make the claim that it was used in the Mayan enemas, but we don't know that, and the Mayans probably didn't have access to fresh peyote to grind for making it.
It's too far away, right?
Yeah.
They probably have other stuff.
Yeah, but no, huicholes use a huge amount of peyote. I mean, there are peyote drunks among the huichol.
Really?
I mean, oh yeah. My host in the Sierra, House Temai, was high every day for a month. Wow. In Nahuatl, you can only pluralize living beings, things like animals, people, things like that. Otherwise, if it's stones or chairs or something like that, you just have to say there are many of them. But things like tortillas are alive when they're on the comal and they start to inflate. So you can use the plural to talk about tortillas on the comal. You also can use the plural to talk about water because it's constantly moving. You can also use the plural when you're talking about a shaman's talking stones because they speak to these stones and they are living beings. Here, you can finish it off.
The last drops of the good luck. Una fortuna.
Salud.
It's the same.
And here's
And
to the
to-
drinks.
To the
Breweries
delicious,
in Cholula.
Yes.
the delicious food of Cholula.
Yes.
And the good company.
Yes.